Okay, Math 3, Unit 8, Section 8.3b. We're going to finish up Section 8.3 today. We're going to start with a 5-number summary, and then we'll move on to modified box and whisker plots. Okay, so if you read this paragraph, the standard deviation is a great way to measure the distribution of data. So we kind of talked about how the standard deviation is similar to range. You're looking at the spread of data, but specifically the spread between each number. Okay? However, it should only be used when data is normally distributed. So again, standard deviation should only be used when data is normally distributed. If the data is skewed left or right, then perhaps using the 5-number summary might be a better way to describe the data. So how 5-number summaries work are like this. You have 5 numbers that you use. You have your minimum value, which is your smallest number. You have your high value, which is your highest value. And actually, oftentimes, instead of saying min, they say low. So you have your low and your high. Then you have your Q1. This is, actually, once you have your median, your Q1 is your median of the first half of data, where your Q3 is your median of the second half of data. Why it's called Q3, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so we have Q1 and Q3, not Q1 and Q2. Okay. Actually, I know why. Maybe. Because you're doing half, so you have like, anyways. I kind of want to like start this all over again, but we're just going to go with it. Okay. We're just going to leave this. Okay. Should I just start over? Okay. All right. I'm not perfect. Here we go. Okay, so 5-number summary. Here's your data set. One thing that you want to make sure is that your numbers need to be in ascending order. What does ascending order mean? Very good. Smallest to greatest. Okay, so in this set of data, they've already figured out everything for you. One thing that I would suggest you do once you have all of your numbers written out is label them, like list them. So I'm going to count through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so since I have an even number for my data, the median is going to be which 2 numbers? So the median is right here in the middle between 7 and 8, right? And so we would add 7 plus 8 together, or sorry, which the values are 12 and 15. And then you divide it by 2 to get the median, which is 13.5. Okay, if you look back, it's stated that you are never going to end up using, the median won't be part of a piece of data. And that's because you're always going to cut it in half. And if there is a number in the middle, that's your halfway point. So it's not included in Q1 or Q3. Okay, Q1 is the median of the first half. So if you look through here, see how there's 7 numbers? What would be my middle number for that? 7. So 7 right there, that is your Q1 value. It's in the middle of this set of data. On the right side, what is the value for Q3? 21. So right there, that is your Q3 value. And then we have our low and our high value, and we found that our median was 13.5. And so if you want to write 13.5 there, you could. So when you list your data, you can go through and write it all there. So I feel like I heard somebody say, I'm lost. So is anybody lost on this? Good question. So there isn't like a middle number. So you know, 14, you divide 14 in half and you get 7. Okay? And so half of the data is on this side, the other half is on this side. So in order to get the median, you have to add those 2 numbers together and divide by 2. And so that's how we got the 13.5. Yes. Other questions from this? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next page. There's another example that they've done for us. But I want us to work through it here again. So again, I would always number my data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, notice on this one, we have an odd number. So there is an exact median. Okay, yes. So that we can find our median. Okay, and know that is it going to be a middle number, or are we going to have to add 2 together and divide? Okay, it also helps us see where the middle values are. So what is my median on this set of data? 18. Okay, so this is not part of Q1 or Q3. That value right there is your median. And if you count, there's 5 numbers on this side, and there's 5 numbers on this side, evenly split. So when you have an actual value for the median, it splits everything there too as well. Okay, so now this is my median. We don't have to add or do anything because we just have that value. And then what is my Q1 value? 12. Very good. So 12 is my Q1. 10 is my low. 27 is my high. And my Q3 is very good. Yeah. Okay, any questions? So now we're going to do our own problem there. I would start by numbering to see how much data I have, how many pieces of data are there. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, when you look at this, is it in ascending order? No. So we need to go through and rewrite it. I'm going to rewrite it just below each of these boxes and then cross them out to make sure I wrote them all. So what is my lowest number? Good. So we have 84, and if you notice, there are actually 2 84s. And then 85 is next, and how many 85s are there? 1, 2, 3. And then we have 186. Good. 3 87s. And then we have a 90. Okay, now since there are 10 pieces of data, what is my median going to be? Good. It's between my 5th and 6th values, right? So this cuts the value or my data in half, but we actually have to state what the median is. What will be my median? Good. It would be 85.5. How do we get that? Good. 85 plus 86 divided by 2. We add them, divide by 2. Yeah, and then it's halfway between, but it just depends on your values if it's easy to do either way. Okay, what is my low value? Good, so there's my low. 90 is my high. What is my Q1 value? And my Q3. Did somebody say I still don't get it? Okay, what don't you get?
How did we get 87? Like, why did we pick that?
Okay, do you see right here how there's 5 numbers?
Yeah.
Which one's in the middle?
Oh, it's just picking one in the middle out of the...
It's your median of that set of data.
Okay.
And same thing here, the median of that set of data. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Now, this was Elvira's data that we've been talking a lot about through this unit. And now we're moving on to Bob's data. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and list all of these numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are these in order right now? No. So we need to rewrite them in order. Goes 45, 53, 60, 71, 75, 80, and then there's 2 90s, 97, and 99. Okay, so what will be my median this time? Good. So again, it splits the data in half, and we would add those two numbers together and divide by 2, and 77.5 is correct. What's my low value? Good. And the high? And what is my Q1 value? Good. And Q3? Okay, and that's it. Now, all of this information helps us to make our box and whisker plot. So you might want to leave your pages open, but I'm going to rewrite the data at the top in order to make a box and whisker with this information. Actually, it'll be on the next page. Okay. So modified box and whisker. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. Okay. So like I just said, we use the 5-number summary in order to create this graph. To give you the information, this point right here, that is your low, and this point right here, that is your high. This value right here is your median, and then you have your Q1 and your Q3. And then you just make the box around those values. So that's basically all the information that they're stating down here in A, B, and C. The one thing that you need to be aware of, though, is your axis. And you need to always make sure that you are labeling your axis. Make sure that it makes sense. Okay? All right. Oh, and the last thing too, sorry. When you're comparing different samples, you should be putting both graphs on the same axis. So you'd be comparing them on the same graph. Okay? All right. Moving on to the next page. Okay, so here we have Elvira. And I'm going to write down all the information we found previously. So her low was 84. Q1 is 85. The median is 85.5. Q3 is 87. And the high is 90. And then I'm going to give you all Bob's information. I'm going to do him in a different color because I'm going to end up doing both graphs, and I'm going to color them differently so I can easily see which one is which. So Bob low is 45. Q1 is 60. Median is 77.5. Q3 is 90. And the high is 99. Okay, so we're going to put both of them, we're going to make a box and whisker on the graph. Again, the most important thing is that you need to label the x-axis. So if you look at both of the information from their data sets, what's the smallest number I'm going to need on my x-axis? And my largest? Good. So I'm going to start here with 45 and go up by 5s. So we have 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. I'm going to stop counting. And then it ends at 95, and I really need it to go to 100. So I'm just going to add on to 100. Okay, any questions so far? All right, so we're going to start with Elvira, and I'm going to plot hers in blue on my graph towards the top. Okay, so for Elvira, her low score is 84. So I'm going to go like 2 from the top down, And I'm going to put a point here, which is about at 84. I also need to make a point for my Q1 at...
How come you're choosing that one?
Because I'm going to end up making my box, so I'm going to use like 2 of them. I could have gone up one more. And then remember we still have to put Bob on here too, so I'm just making it so there's space below for Bob. You could flip Elvira and Bob around. It doesn't matter. You just have to make room for both of them on the graph. Okay, and then median is 85.5, so I would say that's about right here. Q3 is 87, so we'll put a point about right there. And then the high was 90. So with those points, do you guys remember how to make the box and whiskers? So the whisker part, the straight line goes from the end points, right here and right here. So you're just connecting the 2 dots on the left and the 2 dots on the right. And then you're going to make your box with the other 3 points. So I'm just going up to like these lines here and making a box with those points. And the middle one, that's your median in the box. And so I just draw a line there for my median. And that is your box and whiskers. Ashley, you getting all this? Mm-hmm. Okay, any questions on this first one? Okay, Bob. So I'm just going to go up like 2 from the bottom here now for Bob's. His low is 45, so we're just going to go through and plot each of these points for Bob's data as well. And so then the next point is at 60. And then the median is 77.5, so that's about right here. And then we have 90, and then we have 99 way over here. So remember, what the whiskers are just connecting the 2 endpoints, right? So we'll draw a line. You could use your ruler or D cards if you want to make these straighter, or it's fine, however it is. And then we box these 3 numbers, or 3 points. And then draw your median there in the middle. It is. So who has a bigger spread of data? Bob. Okay, and so this next part says, write a few sentences regarding the test scores for Elvira and Bob. And it specifically says to comment on the center. What is also the center? The median, good. The shape, okay, and the spread. So I'm going to write this for you so you get an idea of what is expected for writing. Okay, so based upon the data, or let's put based upon the graphs, it appears that Elvira's scores are more compact. Specifically, I'm going to put in parentheses 90 to 84. Where Bob's are more spread out. And specifically there, 99 to 45. Okay, they asked us to talk about the center. The center for Elvira is 86, which is higher than Bob's at 75.5. Okay, looking at the graphs in terms of their shape, both graphs appear to be symmetrical. with some slight skew. So if you look, they are pretty symmetrical in terms of like what's on each side. But yes, but there is some skewness. It's not like it's exactly symmetrical. It's not exactly in half everywhere. Question? Yes.
Isn't it off center at 77? Or is it?
Mm-hmm.
Because you wrote 75.
77.5 is correct. Thank you. Can I have a candy? All right.
Wait.
Okay. Are there any questions on any of this right now? No? Okay. We are going to go ahead and stop there for today.